In January 2021, the US Department of Justice was closing in on its biggest financial bust ever, the seizure of more than $3.6 billion in cryptocurrency. Almost 120,000 bitcoins had been illegally taken from users' accounts in 2016 from one of the world's largest virtual currency exchanges, Bitfinex. In hunting down the stolen bounty over several years, investigators followed a trail of clues that eventually led them to an unconventional would-be New York power couple. Social influencer, writer, entrepreneur and amateur rapper Heather Morgan and her husband Ilya Lichtenstein, a Russian-American tech entrepreneur, now face up to 25 years in jail if found guilty of conspiring to launder stolen Bitcoin worth billions of dollars. The alleged secret lives of the outwardly goofy duo, involving burner phones and multiple identities, have perplexed onlookers, rocked the cryptocurrency world and inevitably already inspired talk of a Netflix doco. While the trial date has not yet been set, it looks set to deliver on drama, with prosecutors alleging Lichtenstein and Morgan's activities appear pulled from the pages of a spy novel. Razulkin the rapper, crocodile of Wall Street. Before January 5th raid on the couple's Wall Street apartment, Lichtenstein and Morgan had cultivated an online life preaching the windfalls of tech entrepreneurship and hustle culture. Morgan appears to have split her time between writing business columns for the likes of Forbes and Inc., dishing out sales and marketing advice, and spitting bars as her rap alter ego Razulkin, like Genghis Khan, but with more pizzazz. Loading. A shaky video doing the rounds since their arrest shows Morgan kicking off a 2019 speaking engagement with a few lines from Razulkin's Versace Bedouin. Razulkin, the Versace Bedouin. Come real far but don't know where I'm headed. Mother in crocodile of Wall Street. Silver on my fingers on boots on my feet. She goes on to engage the audience with stories of crashing events and engineering herself into all kinds of situations, like the time she and her friends scaled the fence of a local Egyptian landmark, the Barron Palace, and talked the security guard into giving them a tour. The talk, like her occasional freelance contributions and an overwhelming volume of social media posts, suggest Morgan certainly had a working knowledge of cryptocurrency and entrepreneurship. Prosecutors noted Morgan's finance articles, such as experts share tips to protect your business from cybercriminals, involved interviewing several virtual currency exchange employees who discussed their company's anti-money laundering and anti-protocols. Loading. Lichtenstein, who variously calls himself a tech investor, entrepreneur, coder, and occasional magician, and goes by the name Dutch, had been working on the first decentralized cloud wallet. His social media contributions ranged from Twitter commentary on cryptocurrency and Web 3.0 to a lengthy Facebook ramble about his elaborate marriage proposal, which involved a Razulkin appearance on a Times Square billboard. As you may know, Heather is not just a tech entrepreneur, she is also Razulkin, the fearless rapper. And what better way to propose to an entrepreneur a rapper than with a weird, creative multi-channel marketing campaign, he wrote in June 2019. Ilya Lichtenstein and Heather Morgan shared wedding photos late last year. The pair seemingly share a penchant for the awkward and ridiculous, and a disdain for social media influencers who take themselves too seriously. This is my commentary on social media and how in superficial and consumerist our society is, Morgan rants in one TikTok post before trying some supersized, fluffy pancakes. Their involvement in the Bitfinex case has stirred up significant interest. Razulkin's TikTok account has amassed 10,000 new followers since the arrests in early February. Not all the online commentary has been kind. One Twitter user, sharing a link to the pancake video, observed, "Okay. The hackers are not CIA. They are idiots." Loading. Tracing hundreds of complicated transactions to find the hidden stash. The colorful details of the defendants' lives don't surprise Ari Redbord of TIM Labs, a blockchain intelligence company that is following the case closely. You have super sophisticated hacking teams, like Lazarus Group out of North Korea, and then you have Russian cyber criminals engaging in ransomware attacks, and then you have hackers and frankly, folks like this, he said. If you're good with a computer or have a data science background, there really are things you can do to penetrate cyber defenses. Prosecutors allege that Heather Morgan was extremely hands-on in the money laundering scheme. It's not yet clear exactly how almost 120,000 Bitcoin was stolen in the 2016 Bitfinex hack. Liechtenstein and Morgan have not been charged with the hack itself, but they stand accused of laundering a portion of that total, worth $71 million at the time, and now valued at more than $4.5 billion. Court documents released last month detail how some of the stolen currency has allegedly been laundered in a series of small, complex transactions across multiple accounts and platforms involving 2,000 virtual currency addresses, all linking back to the hack. A chart shows the flow of some of the stolen Bitcoin to various accounts held by Ilya Liechtenstein and Heather Morgan. Prosecutors allege the defendants used numerous money laundering techniques, including setting up accounts with fake identities, moving stolen funds in a series of small amounts, and using US-based business accounts to legitimize activity. Some purchases have allegedly been made with a fraction of the stolen currency, gold, non-fungible tokens, even a Walmart gift card, but for years most of it has been sitting in a virtual wallet apparently untouched. We're still not in a world where you can easily transact, buy stuff with crypto, said Mr. Redboard, a former assistant US attorney specializing in illicit finance. So what these people needed to do is figure out a way to off-ramp billions of dollars, with the world watching, with law enforcement watching. It is very hard to off-ramp stolen cryptocurrency. Burner phones, Clarissa the cat and cold hard cash. In a raid on the couple's apartment on January 5th, officers found the first physical clues of the virtual cash they had been hunting down. Police seized around 50 encrypted electronic devices, various bags containing multiple SIM cards and cell phones, one of which was labeled burner phone, and $40,000 in cash, as well as what appears to be a substantial amount of foreign currency. Items found in the raid on the apartment included electronic devices labeled burner phone. They also found 2 books in Liechtenstein's study, with partially hollowed-out pages to create secret compartments. At the most recent court hearing for the case, the judge noted that during the search, Morgan told officers she needed to retrieve her pet cat, Clarissa the Bengal, from under the bed. Loading. She then positioned herself next to the nightstand, which was still holding one of her phones, and reached up to grab the device, repeatedly hitting the lock button. According to court documents, law enforcement had to wrest the phone from her hands. Even then they still didn't have, in the words of federal judge Beryl A. Howell, the gun. That discovery came several weeks later, when law enforcement managed to hack into a file on Liechtenstein's cloud storage account that linked the couple to the 2016 Bitcoin theft. In it, they found the password to the virtual wallet where almost 95,000 of the stolen Bitcoin was still being stored. The currency, valued at $3.6 billion, was seized a few days later, in what the Department of Justice said was its largest financial seizure ever. A trip to Russia and frozen embryos. At a court hearing in Washington, D.C. last month, Judge Howell heard arguments on whether or not Liechtenstein and Morgan should be released on bail. According to court documents, Liechtenstein is a dual Russian-American citizen who had access to numerous EULANT identities and documents purchased on the darknet, and the ability to easily acquire more. The defendants have established financial accounts in Russia and Ukraine, and appear to have been setting up a contingency plan for a life in Ukraine and/or Russia prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, prosecutors wrote. Samson Enza, a lawyer for the couple, argued in court that the pair were not a flight risk in part because they had stored frozen embryos in New York, which Morgan would need to pursue her dream of starting a family. Judge Howell, I don't want to spend too much on frozen embryos, but that procedure could be done again. Mr. Enza, you would need eggs, you would need good eggs. Those eggs were frozen a long time ago. They'd literally be leaving their future behind if they left. The judge appeared to give little